The dead awaken. We bring them forth from their graves. It's time for them to scare our players! We raise the dead, paint their bones and lipless grins. We raise the dead, their souls will not rest from long forgotten sins. Dungeons brimming with the charnel stench of 1,000 corpses. The bidding of an ancient evil sworn to scorn the living. We raise the dead, paint their bones and lipless grins. We raise the dead, their souls will not rest from long forgotten sins. We raise the dead so we can play once again. Scare those around the table, looking for an exit. This ancient dungeon, will it be their end or will they prevail? Their characters live, escape the corridors where zombies and worse We raise the dead, paint their bones and lipless grins. We raise the dead, their souls will not rest from long forgotten sins. It's Dungeon Mania time!
Can you hear me? Just music playing. There we are. I think this is me now, isn't it? Can you hear me now? Always the same with the audio. I need to start putting like some post-its on what this is the sound or what is not. Okay, so you can hear me. Thank God. Okay, as I was saying, oh my God, why am I so bad at this? Hola, Trappy. I'm finishing my Undead. These guys, okay? This is the skeleton that I wasn't painting yesterday. Now that I have an empty base for him, I actually well, painting him. And I have another skeleton over here. There we are. And I have 3 zombies. 1 and 2. Let's get the other one with the broken spear or weapon. The camera is being stupid today. And 3. And after I get these guys painted, you guys are going to be deciding now which one is the next miniature that I'm going to be painting. Is it going to be the female hero or is it going to be the huge skeleton? Now, of course, it's like 50-50, like, because you don't really know how either one of those look. I can give you a hint. The female hero does look sexy and the huge skeleton looks huge. So it's either one, whichever you prefer. I don't mind because honestly, after painting these guys for this morning, during this morning, and now I'm a little bit done with Undead, but that miniature, the skeleton, the hugest skeleton miniature is freaking amazing. It looks good and it has flames coming out of the sword, so it is very cool. I don't know. Today, hopefully the chat is gonna be way faster. I don't know if you noticed because I changed some settings. Hopefully it is. And I also have something which is very exciting for me because I was creating this. I'm gonna replay it. Whenever somebody subscribes, whenever somebody does something that is tied to whatever, I'm gonna show you right now. So this is gonna happen, something like this. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I got some animations sorted out as well for events, but most likely we are not gonna see them quite often because, you know, people usually subscribe when they're watching videos, not on live streams. I don't know. We'll see. They are there just in case. So, vamos a empezar. I'm gonna start with, right now, the last steps for these skeletons and these guys. And this is going to be, right now, Agrex Earthshade Wash. I'm gonna give it an Agrex Earthshade Wash in the bow, on the bow, and also on the arrow shaft, like here. But there is not much to be done with these guys. I intended to finish them tonight, or, well, I actually intended to finish them during the day, but, you know, it's just as well to do it now. More so because I wanted to experiment with the zombie skin, and I thought that was going to be something cool to show, to see what can be done with the zombie skin. The skeletons, on the other hand, well, you know, I painted plenty of skeletons, that is nothing special anymore. But, well, what the heck, I mean, you know, the hugest skeleton will be LGTB+. I think the only thing that he has that might be considered somewhat sexual is that he has a boner. I mean, applause, please, thank you. Now, Trappy, there is no sexual innuendo on the skeleton whatsoever. I mean, it will F you up if he catches you in a dungeon, but beyond that, nothing else. And because we're painting Undead, I updated the soundtrack to be a little bit more gothic, more, you know, metal, a little bit more interesting, more in tune with the things that we are painting over here. What are you guys painting on your side? Por la inclusividad. What are you guys painting on your side? Are you painting anything, or are you just hanging out and seeing how other people paint? And let me see if I can actually show you how I paint. If I stop moving, that will be right, you know? There we are. Because I need to put an X on my table just to know where I should be actually staying with my hands. It's been a long week, and today is the last day of it. And tomorrow is back to the grind, isn't it? Are you guys looking forward to the Monday? Are you guys ready to go back to work or to do the things that you have to do on weekdays? I don't know. Me particularly, yes and no. I really like going to work sometimes. It's quite fun to hang out with the people at work, and it's also nice to deal with the things that I deal at work sometimes. But at the same time, it's the end of the year, and us teachers are tired. Like, you don't know what tired is until you get teacher tired. So 1985 henchmen for advanced hero quest, the ones I featured on my channel. Okay, all right, let me see. I don't know if you can put a link to videos, but if you can DM me somehow, I will greatly appreciate that, because I want to see more advanced hero quest painted. I finished mine, what, a couple of months ago, maybe, something like that, and they are right here looking at me, over here, all of them. I don't know if you watched my video on how I painted my advanced hero quest, maybe, but these guys were fun to paint, because I decided to spice it up and just not do the same thing with all of them, so that worked. Of course, there you go. Have you played the game already, or is it a new purchase that you basically haven't even put on the table yet? How does it feel to you? I just played a game or two, I'm not really sure, I think it was 2 games. And as I said yesterday, it felt very easy for my players. So I was probably doing something wrong. I'm pretty sure I was doing something wrong. Okay, this guy is ready to go to another phase of the paint jobs. Let's get to this one. Vamos allá. Some here and some here, because I don't like the contrast in there. And let's paint the shaft of this broken spear. Are you painting them all the same? Are you mixing it up? Are you painting them as the heroes? What are you doing there? And Trappy, when are you going to get your copy of Warhammer 40k? I saw your video, the one where you were talking about playing without being filmed and how it felt a little bit easier. It's interesting because I'm finding it quite pleasant to paint now in stream. Like, I really enjoy doing this. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it, because there is no monetary incentive that actually offsets these towards doing it this way rather than painting alone. But I really like hanging out with people and talking to you guys, and, you know, having some input beyond the fact that I cannot turn on the audio properly at the beginning of the video. Alright, let's see. I played it enhanced 2nd edition. I'm old, but I'm just building the 3D terrain, collecting all the original minis, all different. Okay, I'm actually working on a video that is for people like you and I. If we have a limited budget and we want to buy one of the 3, the trifecta, you know, the dungeon crawlers between the 80s and the 90s from Warhammer, which one would you buy? And I'm not considering Mighty Heroes, because Mighty Heroes, you know, is not really that. Maybe Talisman will be considered somehow like a dungeon crawler, but I think the trifecta are obviously Hero Quest, and then Advanced Hero Quest, and then Warhammer Quest. And if you had the budget, if you could buy any of them, which one would you buy and why? And I'm coming up with, well, I already recorded myself talking about it. And one of the things that I was considering when you buy this one, Advanced Hero Quest, is the rabbit hole that you're gonna get through buying all the old school miniatures. Yeah, Warhammer Quest. Do you have Warhammer Quest? Have you got yourself one, or is one of those holy grail games that you're like waiting for somebody to basically throw one in the trash and you can find it for free? Because that's one of the games that holy crap, it goes for stupid prices on eBay. Stupid prices on eBay. It's stupid. I got mine, I think I paid like 300 euros back when I got it, but that was before the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken. So, Desterrado, aquí Lobo, mi amigo Trapi, he's saying that he's gonna be painting miniatures next week, hopefully. Okay, I got your pictures, and maybe whilst I'm waiting for some paint to dry and I discuss a couple of things with you guys, I'm gonna show you a trick that I do for, you know, deciding. Sometimes it's something that I do mostly for other people, because myself, I have a very good idea of what I want to achieve with the miniatures, and if I make a mistake, I don't care, I can fix it during the paint job. But for people who are new to the hobby, or for people who do the basics and they don't know where to take it from there, I have a trick under my sleeve, and I'm gonna show you to you with the miniature that you sent me yesterday on my phone. Okay, no, I haven't. I have them including expansion and characters. Do you have all of Warhammer Quest? Like all of it? You're talking. I mean, yeah. I'm stuttering here. You're telling me you have all of it, like Catacombs of Terror and Lair of the Orc Lord, and you have also the characters, like all the boxes, like the Bretonnian Knight, the Pit Fighter, all those things as well. Guys, we just met somebody who is generationally speaking rich. Okay, if you keep that, what the heck, completing boxes? No freaking way. I mean, bro, you can retire now. I mean, more so because Dubai prices are going down because of the Iran war. Yeah, I think you could buy a couple of apartments over there. Oh my gosh. And Terror in the Dark for that's your question. Bro, where do you live? I'm gonna send some friends just to pick up a couple of things for you. That's generational wealth right there, ladies and gentlemen. Nostalgia multiplied by 20,000 into boxes. Did you paint the miniatures, or you have them shrink wrapped? Is it? Are you one of those people that just buy things just to look at them and never touch them because they know how expensive they are? Oh my god. This is, man, you can drive a Mercedes for less money that this guy has in boxes, like miniature wise. And I'm not kidding, okay? You can buy a second-hand Mercedes, a decent one at that, and it will cost less than the money that you probably will pay for these boxes that he's talking about. That's the kind of prices we're talking about when it comes to Games Workshop, basically legendary games. When you have time, have a quick look at the channel. I will. I know that you subscribe, and I actually do. You know what? I don't really watch that many YouTube videos on miniatures, but if you say that you have all those things, I'm definitely going to watch your channel because I'm really curious about seeing those. What I have is proxies. There was this printing in Spain by Albertuccio, who's a very huge fan. He was in one of my videos. He's a huge fan of Warhammer Fantasy and of Warhammer Quest and Advanced Hero Quest, and he has, I don't know, he has the patience of a saint because he goes and redoes all the cards and whatnot, and he created all these materials and did a reprinting and a professional print in Spain. And if you wanted to join, you just pay the fees and you will get a print of the box, a print of the books, and a print of all the expansions and all the cards, okay, all the treasure cards, everything. And this guy did that, and I just decided to get all of it. And I have a short video where I actually show that, and I was discussing on that short video, it's like, okay, look, if the main excuse that Games Workshop has is that they somewhat misplaced all the tiles and all the graphic design items that they needed to redo the game, I'm gonna curse. They are full of shit, okay? They are absolutely full of shit, because you're telling me with the technology nowadays that you cannot get proper, you know, scans of the cards that you probably have somewhere in your freaking studio, or if you don't have them, you can source them somewhere in the internet. So it's what are we even talking about, Games Workshop? Come on, like really, you don't like money. I'm telling you, they like the wrong kind of money. The wrong kind of money being, yes, that's another version of the Space Marines, which of course they're gonna sell. But it's having a Space Marines is a depreciating value in the hobby world, because let's be honest, if you buy a Space Marine army nowadays made of plastic, or you know, I don't see that going up in value. I don't see that going up in value. If we're talking about Metal Hammer miniatures, it's always the same, right? There was this time where metal becomes obsolete and we move to plastic, and people start selling their miniatures, and you can buy pretty much a whole army for a couple of $100s. But now, as soon as the old world hits the stores and we started getting new releases and whatnot, and Games Workshop said, you know what, these freaking nerds are gonna pay for all miniatures if we do a reprint. Let's do that. And they did, and they're making a lot of money with old miniatures such as Grom the Punch and all these 4th edition, 5th edition miniatures that their scale is not even correct for nowadays gaming, and still they sell, and they sell very well. So that the fact that you have things from the 90s reaching the value of way more money than anything that Games Workshop is releasing nowadays, and we're talking about games that are 200 quid a box. Okay, it's not like the new Warhammer Quest. It's not a cheap investment, but people are willing to pay for arguably uglier miniatures, double the price, if not triple in some cases, if not even quadruple the price of what the new box costs, just because it is a nostalgia driven hobby, and we like all the stuff, and we like all the stuff because we remember how fun it was, or we remember not being able to be part of the fun because we didn't have money. But now, you know, we have some disposable income because, well, we work. So there we go. You have a lot of money there, mate. Congratulations. I don't envy you. I envy you, but congratulations. I really like seeing people that are passionate owning things like this, because that's what the hobby is about, right? You have to love it. All right. Bueno, this skeleton is like basically almost done. Very, very close to it. A ver, let's see. I think this part of the grips I'm gonna paint also gold. I only collect lead minis, really. Those are the ones that are gonna always hold their value, for sure. Plastic, you know, they don't really. It's honestly, as beautiful as they can make them, is not the same. And I cannot put my finger on why, but it is not the same, for sure. There is something going on in our at least in my mind, okay? When I get something that is metallic, and as fastidious as they are to carry around because they start chipping or whatnot, the value of a metal miniature is completely different to one made of plastic. Game-wise, plastic all day. It's much easier to carry. They don't chip. They are just more sturdy, but value-wise and nostalgia-wise, metal. There is no argument on this. And honestly, I like the pewter better than the lead. Lead has a lot of problems because of lead rod. It's also too soft for my liking. And I have a few lead miniatures from way long ago, but I still like pewter better than lead, much more, even though the other ones are the proper nostalgia ones. Alright, this guy is, I think this guy is basically ready to go and make life difficult for some adventurers. I think I'm gonna touch up that later when I do the Dragonhawk Nightshade. This guy's ready. Okay, the other skeleton, does he have any gold? Let's see. Let's double check. No, this is a poor skeleton. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some focus there, thank you. I'm gonna do some small highlights to the scale mail that he's wearing. But he's almost ready too. Yeah. Almost ready. Cool minis, eh? Kraken Studios. Cool minis. Very happy to get these miniatures. I'm starting to be less and less of a purist regarding Games Workshop, because I find that when you do dungeon crawlers, the enemies, as long as they look more or less good, they are fine. So, okay, let's do the metallic before I just keep talking and then I forget about that. I'm becoming very agnostic about my miniatures, honestly. It used not to be the case. I really wanted to have everything Games Workshop, and then I started buying one miniature here, one miniature there, and now, let's see, puedo hacer esto. Let me see if I can focus closer here. And now I don't mind. If they look the part, they're good. But as I was saying, I was talking about that video that I'm actually making, and it's about, yeah, you buy any game, which one will you buy? So you say Warhammer Quest, but if you go and you buy yourself an Advanced Hero Quest, what happens is, all of a sudden, I don't know why, people decide to start collecting the miniatures that Warhammer, that Hero Quest, Advanced Hero Quest was about. And we're talking about not Middle Hammer, we're talking about Old Hammer, we're talking about 80s stuff. And I see in the groups people saying, hey guys, I'm looking for this particular goblin with a bow. I saw that today, by the way. I'm looking for this particular goblin with a bow. Does anybody know where to source it? And I'm thinking, what the hell, man? There are like so many goblin models out there. So why this in particular? And probably it's because it's in one of the handbooks, in one of the bestiaries or something like that. And the guy decided that he wanted that goblin. Not any goblin with a bow, that particular model that has been out of production for at least 35 years. So it's a different level of commitment here. Okay, let me see. Wow, so many comments all of a sudden. Let me just go back if I can. Okay, when you have done, managed to obtain all the original minis for Advanced Hero Quest, including Turning in the Dark. Yeah, the prices are crazy. YouTube, what the heck? Beneath the Flagstone. I got all the Little Monk cards, tiles as well, as he has done a great job expanding. Yeah, Little Monk is a treasure in the community. Little Monk is the community. Anything that is Warhammer Quest, basically you can trace it back to Little Monk, just keeping it alive for the last 30 years. Period. That guy is it's just a different level of commitment. Okay, Games Workshop will learn a lot from fan-based stuff, much more than if they try to do things new. Honestly, I don't understand why the fans are so good at reciprocating what everybody wants, or replicating. Sorry, replicating is the word. How fans know exactly what makes something special and they make it better than the company trying to make it again. Like, let's get into, for instance, Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars, you can like it or dislike it or whatever, but I've seen fan-made stuff that, I mean, ticks all the boxes. It ticks all the boxes, for sure. So why is it that a big company with a huge budget, lots of money to throw at things, basically, they fail so utterly to capture that genie in a bottle, when people who are basically just amateur, they know this is what makes this special. That's it. I don't know, it boggles the mind. it boggles the mind, honestly. Let me see this guy. I think he's ready. This guy, he has the highlights as well. Okay, now it's Drakenhof Nightshade time. I need to paint some more gold. Let's see, I don't think these guys have any gold on them. I'm gonna leave it like this. Nah, I just need some Drakenhof Nightshade on that. You know what my miniature is? The holy grail for me is a very specific miniature. It's only one miniature that I want to find, but every time I saw one on eBay, I just couldn't justify myself paying that much money for it. And it was a few years ago, and we were talking about 80 euros for a miniature. And I really want to get a hold of one, and I'm contemplating if somebody recasts it, I don't mind, okay? I just want to have that miniature. And it's Heinrich Kemmler from Warhammer Fantasy 3rd edition. I think it's 3rd edition, the one that it's the Abbey of the Maisontal. I want Heinrich Kemmler. I want Krell, the old one. I want all those. I love Heinrich Kemmler from 5th edition. I think it's a 5th edition miniature, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic miniature, beautiful. One of my favorite miniatures, by the way. Do you have it? Son of a bitch. You got Heinrich Kemmler from... Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think I need to start getting like some keys where I can play sounds, because in this case I'm out of words. You have Heinrich Kemmler, the original one, the old hammer one, which is probably, compared to these guys, is half this. I don't know, it's probably something like that. Yeah, I got the newer version. I have that one. One of my favorite minis in the army, in my Vampire Counts army. But I don't... Okay. One of these days I'm gonna get one. One of these days I'm gonna get one. And that's fine. It's not today, but one of these days I'm gonna get one. I have plenty in my pilot sheet. Anyways, let me get back to my Drakenhof Nightshade. God dang it! Yeah, it's, and I don't know really why I want that miniature. It's probably because I like Vampire Counts, and I look at it and it's like so funny to see this guy, which in the original version is kind of like semi-naked. But anyways, oh, you can share a contact. Okay, all right. I don't know how to share messages yet. Okay, but I'll figure it out. You probably are on. You can find me on Instagram. You know, if you find me on Instagram, Rush the Wash, just drop me a message there, and I'm very happy to talk to you about a possible contact for, you know, for nefarious purposes. That's yeah. We're not gonna be very specific about what's gonna happen. Wink, wink. But some people probably know what's going on here. Yeah, that will be cool. That will be very cool, actually. I appreciate that. Bueno, a ver. ¿Qué me está diciendo aquí Trappy? Highlights with yellow. Highlights with yellow. What do you mean? These ones over here, Trappy, on the boots? Yes, this is ice yellow. Right now I'm washing over them. I'm glazing them. Those are made with the purpose of being like quite strong. And if you see here, look, you see in between these two highlights, I'm painting a little bit of Drakenhof Nightshade, and that's gonna make a little bit of shading there, obviously Nightshade, but it's gonna multiply the effect of that highlight, so it creates that volume that I want to achieve in the miniature. And I'm touching up all the places that were painted previously with the 1-2 combo of Ultramarine Blue, and now after that ice yellow, and now I'm doing the wash here. See? So you go from this, which is it has been just washed. See all the nuance. The nuance is very different now. This becomes a dark blue, and here is just ice yellow. So what I do is this: I just glaze on top of it, and voila. A ver. I'll read your messages now. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, here I think I need a little bit more of that. And since we are at it, we're gonna paint the bases later. Well, a little bit of Dragonhof Nightshade all over the base. All over the base. Hola primo, ¿qué tal? Yeah, 3 days in a row. It's a nice weekend. I want to finish the minis over here, and it's happening. So, and I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. You know how much I make out of these videos? Like 30 cents or something like that. So, no, I don't mind. It's just fun just to hang out with you guys painting these. So, I mean, maybe if I make like 30 videos or something like that, it starts feeling like a job, but right now this is a fantastic way of spending time. Vamos allá. Vamos allá. And I'm thinking about getting my playlist, the one that I'm playing in the videos, and maybe make a video for members only, where I can put all the or different videos with all the songs that I play here. But as I said, these are not mine. This is AI generated. I just give them a proper prompt, something that I'm looking for, the type of sound. And this is strange because if I told you how many hours I spent back in the day looking for music that I would like to play on my videos, it was hours, like a lot of hours, okay? And I'm talking about using Envato elements. I'm using YouTube music that they have for creators. Just finding some people that might be willing to share music, and as long as you credited them. But it just took so many hours to find the right sound. And now I just prompt it properly. I know exactly what I want, what type of combination of different genres I want, what type of vibe I want, what type of instruments I want, and I get the exact same sound that I'm looking for. It's scary. It is super scary how efficient AI is for certain things. Like, I don't know, it gives me the creeps sometimes, but it's also super useful. So, strange. Raro. Bueno, vamos a ver. I think I'm gonna need to do something with this brown. I don't really like it. I think I'm gonna give it a different ones. And let's darken this as well. This is a little bit too greenish. Are you still painting the, what was that? The orc thingy that you were painting? I forgot the name. Names nowadays are a little bit evasive to me because they are very branded. Games Workshop has been very proactive in making sure that people cannot copy their things because their names are so special and specific. It's Stompa, I think, or something like that. Yeah, there you go, Stompa. Stompa, that wasn't bad. So that's a freaking huge miniature. How long is it gonna take for you to finish that? A while, at least. I mean, are you using airbrush or something like that? Because those miniatures really, anything that is a vehicle benefits from airbrushes. A ver. Ok, un poco más aquí. Un poco más acá. So you say primo all the time. I guess you speak Spanish, or do you know people that speak Spanish and you pick it up from them, or how is it? Carnal, dígame. Okay, this guy is ready. for the next step, which is the skin for the zombies. Okay, but I'm not very happy with this guy still. I want to do something with the bow wood after I do the usual darkening of the leather with Drakenhof Nightshade and the base. Oh, you were in the army. Army, or Air Force, or, well, if you say the army, it's probably army. Were you deployed somewhere, or you had a lot of colleagues that spoke Spanish? US Army. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go. A lot of my former students in America ended up going to either the Army, or because they were in South Carolina, I have a few that went to the Marines in Paris Island, I think is the name of the place, right? And quite a few of them actually ended up going to the Air Force. I don't know why, but quite a few. I have a couple that I know for sure are in the Air Force or have been in the Air Force. And I also had a friend who played Warhammer, and he had been in the army and he was deployed in Iraq, and he was either flying or something like that. He was, is it the name of the helicopter? I don't think you guys use it anymore in the army. I'm not really sure. And in the high school that I was working at, we had well, one of the teachers for JROTC. He had been, he was I think a captain or a colonel or something like that in the army. Not a Black Hawk, not a Chinook. No, way smaller than that. Way smaller than those. Neither of those. It was, I think, it was a reconnaissance helicopter. I know this because he told me about that, but I don't remember the name of it. And now I want to look it up. Now I need to look it up, because, or ask him straight away. Say, hey John, what the heck was that thing that you guys were flying back in Iraq? A ver. Now let me check it out, okay? Because let's see. Let's get my phone out. Already is midway. A ver. US Army. A ver. Was Kiowa, that one, the Kiowa. The Kiowa. Yeah, exactly, that's what you're saying. It has one of those over there. It's a Kiowa. Yeah, I know it's in black and white. It's because I've set it for my sleep, but I always end up doing this. It's switching it off. So a Kiowa, that's the one that he was flying. Funny things that I remember. He's a great friend. He was going with me to a lot of tournaments, and we met each other just by playing Warhammer. A lot of people that I met through in my lifetime has been through Warhammer, which is quite funny. That this hobby that involves, like, you know, playing with miniatures actually gets you to meet very interesting people. Okay, what do I need here to make this look a little bit different? I think I'm gonna have to do an ad hoc brown, because I don't like the bow is just too similar to the bone color in the skeleton, and it's not popping up the way I want it to be, and the camera is not focusing the way I want it to focus. Thank you, camera. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix a little bit of yellow and just a little bit of black, un poquito, maybe a little bit of red as well. Maybe. Vamos a ver. Is this black? No, it's dark still. God dang it. They just look so similar to each other. So, good thing I didn't drop it. A ver. Okay, I think this color is gonna work. This is a proper dark brown. Let's see if it works. then some highlights, very simple highlights, and I think that's gonna work. Are you guys watching anything worth watching on TV? Because for me, I don't know, my wife likes watching TV series, but me personally, I just don't have the patience unless it's something that really, you know, appeals to me. And I don't know. Beneath the Flagstone says From is the name of a show? Or what is that? From? Or is it an acronym that I don't know of? Indeed. Is it an acronym or is the name of a show? No worries, mate. Kids first, okay? Family always first. This is just some old farts hanging out together and watching paint dry, so don't worry about that at all. Just From? Where are you watching this? What is it about? I have no idea what this is about. Like zero. Okay, let's paint the teeth with this dark brown as well, because it's gonna help me do later the highlights in white. From there. Expediente X, the series. So X-Files, you're still watching? Are you? Where are you getting X-Files from? X-Files, man, that was a long time ago, Rafi. That was a long time ago. I still like watching 90s movies sometimes, like Conan the Barbarian, which is 80s by the way, but Total Recall, anything that is Arnold Schwarzenegger is just perfect. Yes, exactly the amount of action that I want, and then the high order thinking skills that I can deploy to watch something on TV, which are like not too many, if you catch my drift. A ver, bueno. So this guy is done. Moving on to the next one, and then we can do the skin. You guys are saying female hero and the skeleton at the same time, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna tackle. Alright, this is third figure in 3 days, making decent progress. No, actually, we have right here in front of me 5 figures. I'm painting all the skeletons at the same time, simultaneously, and a few zombies. As soon as I finish with the Drakenhof Nightshade step, I'm gonna go into the skin with the zombies, and then we're gonna get all of them sorted out. This is I was going to say it's an agnostic system because you can play any dungeon crawler with them. True, but the company that made them, which is Kraken Studio in Spain, they released a dungeon crawler which is called Ashes of Time, which I haven't tried. And okay, wait a little bit, okay? Because I'm finishing this and then I'm gonna show you something. So dungeon crawlers, you know, there are so many rules out there that you can use anything basically. Warhammer Quest will work. Advanced Hero Quest definitely will work. Anything will work as long as you have the rules for playing with Undead. But their system is called Ashes of Time. So I need to look into it because I'm painting things for them. They want to do a collab eventually, so I mean I should look into the system. Why is this camera today being so annoying on the focusing? Not that much. Okay, thank you. We just shade the leg here, the base, and then I'm gonna show you something. As I said, just give me a millisecond. Un segundito. because these guys they created very nice dungeon tiles, and these were sent to me by Gabriel from Magic Dice Manufacturing. He has his own channel, he makes tiles himself, and he gave a lot of input for these guys to create these tiles. Okay, yes, that's all. Let me just clean up because they are quite big and I'm gonna need some space. Okay, a ver, let's zoom out, no zoom in. Of course you have there, Tarek, beneath the flagstones. How is this even possible? Oh my god. Oh wait, I'm seeing something now. You guys are not telling me anything. And is that... Okay, let me just do something. Is that the chat is not showing... God dang it. Once again, it's not showing in the... Alright, let me see. Let me see. It's not showing there. Because I'm not paying attention to it. It's not showing on the side again. And I expected it to actually work because I'm doing things differently, but still not showing. So I need to open my YouTube. But in the meantime, I'm gonna put this here, right? So you guys can see it. Okay. Let me see if I can turn the camera a little bit. There we are. This is from them. It's 3D printed. Gabriel printed it with FDM, and I was just gluing it, and I still have these crevices here. And I was thinking, should I use some putty to do that? But it sounds like so much time consuming. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use super glue and baking soda for that. I got my baking soda, ta-da, praf de coat, which is Romanian for dust of baking. So praf de coat is gonna be the secret ingredient. The secret ingredient is crime. So it's just putting it into this, and then you put some super glue, or vice versa. You can do first the super glue, and then you pour this on that. And what it does, I'm pretty sure you guys know already, it does a chemical reaction. And it's exothermic, so be careful because it will burn you. Okay, but super glue, because it's a chemical that was meant. Okay, we're gonna go way onto some dark lore here, okay? But first, let me fix the YouTube part, okay? Because I want to pay attention to this and not miss a bit. Okay, let me see my channel. Okay, allow, fine. Let me just go to my YouTube studio, find the video. Okay, what is this? You know who I am. A ver, aquí estamos. Here we go. Go to my YouTube channel. The chemical that we use for super glue, cyanoacrylate, I think is the name of it. Oh, I see your channel right here beneath the flagstones. You are the first video right here. The Witch Lore Strong Room in full 3D. Okay, so I'm gonna open it in a link, open the link in a new tab. I'm gonna leave it right there so I watch it later. That looks freaking amazing. What the heck? I'm just looking at the... Jesus Christ, what a table you've got. Alright, just a millisecond, okay? Because I'm getting distracted. So, my channel here. Okay, let's go to this. And now I need to go to see if I can open the chat. Right. And then click, then pop out, then copy this thing. Now I know how to do all these things, but I'm not doing them right from the very beginning, like with music. And then I go to my chat, back, and then I go to properties, and I paste this link. And it should show up now. There it is. And voila! Now we can see. ¿Qué tal, Lobo? ¿Cómo estás? Buenas noches. Okay, let me see. So, batch painting, yes. But let me go back to a little bit before, because you guys said so many things that I wasn't seeing them, because the chat is now here. Okay. So X-Files is my favorite series. I didn't know that, Trappy. I thought, well, I didn't know that. I know you love Conan the Barbarian, but I didn't know this. From a mystery horror series about a group of people trapped in a nightmarish town they can't escape from. Okay. Every road leads them back to the same place, and at night terrifying creatures emerge. Where do you find these? Is it in Netflix? Can I watch it on Netflix? Okay. So yes, I'm batch painting. Yeah, for enemies I usually like batch painting because adventurers is a different business. Adventurers I like doing them separately because then I can focus more on the details. But like batches of enemies like skeletons and things like that, batch painting for sure. Okay, I have their terrain. You will never see it. They should really make the walls magnetic. For these guys, yeah, like this, you mean, right? Like putting some magnets in that will be such a good idea. That will be such a good idea. I know that this, Gabriel told me that he gave the input to these guys so they could use this to put some small tags that can match the different tiles all together. But they are sturdy enough and heavy enough that honestly, I think it's not really needed. You can also put magnets inside of those and they will work as well. Door placement becomes an issue. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I can tell that in some cases it can be a little bit difficult because you might want to put a door here, or you might want to put a door in one of the corners. But with these things, it's basically you have a door here, you have a door here, or here, and here, and or here. So this is one of those. Let me show you another one. I have a few here. I need to start painting them. This, I really like the entrance to the dungeon. Oh, it's so cool. I mean, the vibe is fantastic. I really like the looks of the dungeons here. And then yeah, I need just to cover these things. I need to clean up a little bit because I see some leftovers from the printing process. But this is such a cool entrance. It makes me just want to stop moving because every time that I move to another country, I have to send all of these home and then I cannot bring it with me because you never know how long you're gonna be somewhere. Okay, so no, but the looks are super cool, super cool. It is like a mixture between, look, this is extra. It is a mixture between Egyptian and Dwarvish, if it makes any sense, because it has the scarab over here, but it also has this, you know, kind of Art Deco decoration. You know that elves are Art Nouveau and dwarves are Art Deco. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but they are two 20th century types of, you know, decoration, early 20th century. And yeah, the dwarves are the ones with all the straight lines and whatnot. The elves are more flowery and whatnot. So this looks kind of dwarvish to me. There you go. A room with walls, indeed. How long do you plan on staying in Romania? Well, that's a difficult question to answer because I didn't expect to stay long in Malaysia, for example, but I ended up staying 7 years and I actually miss it now. I really like my time in Malaysia. I'm quite used to the Romanian way of doing things because, you know, my wife is Romanian, I lived here before, so it wouldn't be difficult for me to stay here for a while. But how long am I gonna stay? Pues maybe, who knows, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 2 years is such a difficult question to answer. It is very convenient for me to live here as well because I'm close to Spain and I can go back home and visit my family, hang out with my friends from Spain more often than I could from Malaysia, because Malaysia, the distance between Malaysia and Spain is around 10,000 something kilometers, which is 6,000 miles. And it took me 2 flights going through Qatar at 7 hours a pop, plus the layover over there. So I will do it only once a year, because if you do it, I don't know, in Christmas break or something like that, it's doable, but it's still spending 1 day and a half just going somewhere nowadays is a lot. But just imagine what people have to do when, for instance, they were migrating to America and they had to take a boat to do that. Alright, the cavern turning they do is less like that, if that makes sense. I guess so. I haven't seen the cavern turning. I should check whatever they have, but since I don't have a 3D printer, they are a little bit out of my radar. when they said that they wanted to do a collab with me and they showed me what they got, I said like, yeah, let's do it, because I know I'm gonna use your materials. I know for sure. It's not a forced inclusion in a channel, you know? Like, I don't know, if you guys send me, let's say, if somebody said, hey, I have this sci-fi game and it's a skirmish game or something like that, would you like to paint some miniatures for some money? I would be like, eh. I mean, money sounds good, but if I'm not gonna use it, am I really like keen on painting those? Not really. So, whatever. These ones, they fit. They fit my narrative, they fit the things that I do on the channel, so not a problem. Okay, let's do this. And then I'm gonna go through the teeth of these skeletons. So I can, or actually I can do that later, after I finish the zombie skin, so we can do all the teeth at the same time. Vamos cámara, vamos allá. I was saying something about cyanoacrylate, the super glue thingy. Well, super glue originally was a plastic polymer that was invented to make sniper lenses. Okay, you can fact check me on this. I'm talking from memory. Okay, and the plastic that they created didn't work as intended, but they saw that it will solidify very quick if they put it on contact with moisture. So it was a very useful thing from the very beginning. They saw, okay, so this is like a glue that we can use on humid things. And then they sent it to Vietnam. They used it in Vietnam to heal wounds, because you could put it on a wound, and because it was wet, it will immediately seal it, and that will give some precious time to the soldiers to get back to, you know, to safety and be treated. That was what it was originally intended for, and then it evolved into a medical thing, and then nowadays, well, we use it to glue miniatures. It's kind of like post-its. Post-its as well, they were a byproduct of a failure. What happened is that they had this glue that didn't stick well, but it stuck enough so you can put a small amount of it on a corner of a paper, and then you will have a note that you could put somewhere, take it out, and no residue was left. Which goes to show, my dear friends, that if you fail, it doesn't matter, because your failure can become a huge success. This is very important for painting miniatures. Fail. Always try to fail in a way that you can make it like a proper like a win, you know? Oh crap, I painted it this way, but you know what? It doesn't look half bad, so I'll stick to it. Alright, let's go teeth. This guy is gonna have the teeth painted. This guy needs a little bit of extra brown on that shaft. Before I move on, and let me just put the light a little bit closer, and this light a little bit here, so we have proper lighting for the filming process. There we go, on the handle. Fail better. Fail often, fail better. I tell my students all the time, look guys, the idea is to make all the mistakes before the day of the test. And to make all the mistakes before the day of the test, you need to make an effort of doing exercises, of screwing up, and just be cool with it. And once you understand that mindset, life becomes so much easier. And you get ahead of the curve, because you're willing to screw up. So, screwing up is not bad. Screwing up is what takes us places. Just remember, my dear colleagues, more so if you're American, you guys are in that continent because somebody made the mistake of thinking they were going to India. Or that's the official story at least, but he thought he was going to India to get some good spices without going around Africa. And voila, there you go. He ended up in a new continent. So, fail better. That's all I have to say. Alright, I'm failing a little bit better here. Okay. Don't be put off. The only way that you can do better now, Thomas, is if the highlights are like crazy thick or whatever. Like, look, see? I have crazy thick highlights here. Just go with some washes, glaze it, paint within the lines, and ta-da, done, sorted, okay? And remember, my friend, if you paint miniatures and you're gonna be looking at them from this distance, okay? Look at where this guy is at. Well, if you're gonna be here, of course you're gonna see all the details, but if you're gonna be like here when you're playing, like here, nobody cares. Nobody cares, okay? So, whatever. Big freaking deal. It's when you start competing on, you know, Silver Brush or Golden Demon or whatever, that's when you need to start worrying about that. But just enjoy life, man. We are taking too many things too seriously, and nobody gets alive out of this place. So just enjoy. Have fun with it. If it's pissing you off, leave it for a while. Crack open a beer. Watch something on the TV. Doom scroll for a little while. Go to sleep. Come back tomorrow. Throw the miniatures in the bin. Fuck it, you know? I'm guilty of trying too hard to make them perfect. Yeah, but we discussed this the other day. Perfection is the main enemy of finishing stuff. Okay? That's why I make a video every 2 months, because I'm thinking, yeah, it needs to be perfect, man. This video has to be this way, and it has to have these animations, and it has to have this music and whatnot. And then I watch it relentlessly after I publish it for 3 or 4 days, and I say like, shit, I made a mistake here. I didn't pronounce that right. I didn't do this transition. The transition didn't show properly in my editing, and then it's not, whatever. It's okay. I'm pretty sure when you go to work and you see your colleagues, some of them you will say, how do you even have a job? Okay? And they still get paid and they're happy as a clam. So don't sweat it for this. This is not important. This is not important. This is just a pastime. Just enjoy it. Alright. How to paint this freaking flesh. Vamos allá. We need something that is pale and it has purplish nuances and some blue for bruising and whatnot. And it cannot be done only with one wash. So first of all, I need that purple that I'm talking about. So we're gonna get that magenta. That magenta. Alright, where is my magenta? Okay, first of all, magenta. Space magenta. And then we need the blue. Our blue. Okay, and we're gonna put them together and do some magic with it. Un poco de magenta. Un poco de azul. Creativity happens when you have limitations. There is no better way to become creative than have limitations. You don't have time, you become creative. You don't have enough paints, you become creative. You don't have enough money, you become creative. There is nothing better than limitations to become creative. People think that having freedom actually makes you creative, which is quite the opposite. Freedom is the killer of creativity, because you will have way too many choices, and then all of a sudden you will just forget what is the scope of what you're trying to do. So what you really need is to put yourself some limitations. Whatever you want, okay? Money-wise, time-wise, tool-wise, whatever, and you will become creative. I'm telling you. I've seen it over and over again. For instance, my students, they become super creative when you constrain them a little bit. You can constrain in many, many ways, yeah, but they become super creative. One of the quintessential creativity hacks for students, not mine don't do that, but I remember us as kids is, well, I don't have enough time to study, so I have to cheat. And how do you cheat? Well, you write a small piece of paper with all the notes of the things that you need to remember for the exam and just hide it somewhere. What happened is that by creating that small piece of paper with all the notes, you had to actively think what needed to be in the exam, what needed to be in that note for you to pass the exam. And that active thinking, that metacognition, that thing that took you to the level of like, I need to put this in that paper because that thing is going to be important, made you read through the notes and made you study. And by writing it, it made you go through the motions of actually putting that content somewhere. And to me, what happened is that when I got to the exam, I didn't need that note anymore. That note was in my pocket. It never left my pocket. And I had studied. And I realized, like, what the heck just happened? I mean, I was cheating myself into learning the stuff that I didn't want to learn. And then I discovered that I could study. So any limitation that you put yourself into will eventually allow you to create new tools, new strategies, new things. Case in point, another one. All the biggest technological advancements unfortunately happen during wartime because you have limitations, and you have very dire limitations. Radar was invented during wartime, gunpowder as a military means, obviously. Just think, Greek fire, for instance, okay, which we barely remember nowadays. And I think they came up with a formula or a similar formula, something that works more or less like what Greek fire is supposed to do. It was an invention, fire that you couldn't put out with water. Invention for war, there you go. So all these things that we invented and are like quintessential stuff nowadays for us, it came from the struggle of trying to find how to cheat in a very uneven field where not everything was near us to get and use it. Okay, let me see. It's my inner perfectionist which I'm trying to let go of to destroy your creativity, correct? I had an instruction that let us have one-page cheat sheet. He knew we will learn from it. Absolutely. 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 Okay? That's a very smart instructor. Because he knows that you're gonna go, as I said, through the motion of trying to decide what is important to put in that paper. So if you give yourself constraints, it will work in your favor. Always. Always. There we go. How does it look like, that purple? Interesting, eh? It's an interesting color. Let's see if it works after it dries. But I think it looks interesting. This guy looks like Eddie from Iron Maiden. There you go. Nice sculpts. Pity that the print is not high quality because you have all these concentric circles of the layers, but it does the job, so I cannot complain much about that. I'm actually enjoying it so much, painting with a limited palette of colors, that this is a limitation once again. It's not a self-imposed per se, because I was expecting to actually buy some and then start buying more and more, but I feel quite comfortable with these paints now. I mean, if I need something, I know that I can pull it off by mixing some stuff, or just figure out a way of doing it. Enfócate, por favor. A way of doing it without having to go to the store and buy a new paint. And Trapi, I'm telling you this, guys, don't mind me if I'm gonna speak a little bit in Spanish. No te hace falta comprar todas las pinturas de la tienda. En serio. As soon as you learn how to mix paints and what colors make other colors if you mix them, you unlock a lot of different resources from a very small investment. So, de repente tú vas a hacer un montón con muy poco, en serio. Ahora. Okay, now that we have this base color, this purplish, no, it's not purplish, this is purple. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna desaturate it by mixing some white to it and do the highlights. I like it. I actually like it. It goes very well with the green. That was the idea behind painting it in green before. Okay, vamos allá. Now, let's get some white. Proper white. I'm not gonna use ice yellow in here. Look, Army Painter paints, they do the job. I got the starter set with a video on that, and they do the job. Once again, we are spoiled for choice. There are so many different choices out there that we just sometimes are like complicating ourselves for just complicating ourselves. There we go. See, I got some white, I mix it with my purple right here, and now I have this very desaturated purple, which is like lavender purple, I guess. And now let's highlight. See, the other one is a wash, so maybe it's not gonna work that well. I need to put more white. Okay, let's do it even more white. This is like Dreadful Visage, which is a contrast paint that is a very subtle purple. Too liquid. I want it a little bit more solid. It doesn't run. Also, the paint is still wet. This looks like a sleeve of a cloth, but never mind. I can fix it by painting it like that. Looks like Gin Stealer purple. This one actually, very similar. The dark one, I mean. Okay. And once again, what happens is, you see, the colors are gonna blend in together once they dry and they don't look that drastic. Very common thing. Once you start learning how the paint is gonna behave, it makes life much easier. I know that this is not gonna look this light after it dries. It's gonna go a little bit more subtle. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Like here, see? Un poquito más. Here the face. I'm not talking because this one, it's a little bit of fine detail and I don't want to screw up. Here, And I'm gonna paint the nails in black. Not black, ultramarine is blue. Oh my gosh, focus your freaking camera. I hate that, because every time I look at the screen I see that it's unfocused and it pisses me off to no end. I should do manual focus, but because I move the miniature so much, I'm afraid that it's gonna not do a great job here, so I'm in a bit of a conundrum here. And if I go high on the f-stop, there is not enough light for it either. Aquí estamos. Okay, starting to look the part. Maybe here. I remember when I was a kid. It was this game, you probably heard of it, Resident Evil. And well, now you look at the graphics now and it's like, lol, what the heck is that? But I remember the animation when you go to the you know, the first zombie that is eating somebody there in the house, in the mansion, and that animation was like, it was stuck in my brain for a while, and it was like I think it's the first game that ever gave me the heebie-jeebies properly. The music, the ambient, the story, everything was very well crafted. Now you look at it and it's like, whatever. But back then, that PlayStation 1 game made me turn on the light at night. Yeah, that was terrifying for the 90s. It was super scary. Now the zombies, I mean, they are like all square blocks and whatnot. Like, holy crap, man. What? When I was a kid, it was like, shit. Please turn on the lights. I cannot go to bed like this. Funny stuff, eh? Yeah, same. I mean, you got me from playing Super Mario, or you know, the scariest thing that you probably played was Castlevania, and then all of a sudden you have this thing there, like coming out of nowhere, blood dripping, and the face looking at you over the shoulder, and it was like this, like that, basically turning around like that. That freaked me out. Silent Hill was scary, but it didn't freak me out that much. I don't know why. Resident Evil was so damn scary. Resident Evil 2 was even scarier. I played through that game, but I couldn't play with it with the lights off. And Resident Evil 3 was, I don't know, more okay. I think you grow desensitized to things, but 1 and 2, freaking heck, those games scared the crap out of me. And I think I love zombies because of that. I like Undead and the army because of video games. It's just that. My first video game for Nintendo Entertainment System was Simon Belmont. And yeah, I tried to play Resident Evil 2 Remake. I didn't make it past the first scene. It was too much for me. See? We haven't solved problems, man. It's just interesting. And the next one, the one that they well, I play a few Resident Evils. I think it's 4. I'm not really sure which one it is. The one with Leon that goes to Spain, and they fight against Las Plagas and whatnot. But me as a Spaniard, listening to the voices that had South American accent, it was like, what? You know, it's like, imagine playing a game that is supposedly set in England and everybody's speaking with a Bible Belt accent, you know? Hello, y'all. How are you doing? What the heck is even that? That wouldn't work. Trappy says Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger wasn't that scary to me. If you know, one movie that actually gave me nightmares as a child was Psychosis. Psychosis, the scene where they go and find the mom that is dead in the basement. That thing was, that scared me. Another one that was, once again, unexpected for me. I remember being in my aunt's house, and my older cousin, he had a VHS recorder, which I didn't, and he had these videos there. And I said, I'm gonna watch one of these movies, let me see what I can play. And there was this one called Alien. And I'm like, oh wow, spaceship, this is gonna be like Star Wars or whatnot. Holy crap, I couldn't even move from the sofa watching that thing. Alien 1979 is fantastic, fantastic stuff. Blair Witch was great back in the 90s, but now it just looks like the stuff kids are doing on YouTube. Absolutely. Yeah, it was fantastic stuff also back then, as you were saying, because it was new. Nobody was doing something like that. You know, found footage and very, very cool stuff. But now, it's so sad that things lose their appeal because we are so used to seeing things like that. There was this Netflix series which got cancelled. I don't know why, because the first season was phenomenal. This guy was finding tapes, and I don't remember the name of it. This guy, no, sorry, he was not finding tapes. Somebody gave him tapes to fix. They were burnt, and he was watching the tapes, and it's a cosmic horror one in a hotel or a building somewhere in, I think it was San Francisco, I'm not really sure. And it was a number, the name was a number, but I don't remember it, and I think I want to rewatch it, but it just pisses me off that such a phenomenal Netflix TV series, with all the crap that they come up with eventually, just stick to something that works, man. That was so cool, so cool. Yeah, well, I mean, it was probably 720p, which was very good quality for the day. So, but now we are on 4K, 8K, and whatnot. So, yeah, don't worry. Let me just put this in the center. And then we're gonna see what is the next miniature. Turn down with this and the teeth of these guys. But it's already midnight. Oh, it's over midnight. I was gonna take less time than this, but then I start talking and I don't concentrate that much. But anyways, I'm finishing a lot of miniatures due to you guys, so that's great. Alright, and okay. What was the name of that TV series? So cool though. Okay, a little bit of white. Let's see if I can cap the teeth. There we are. This I'm gonna do something with it now. Okay. Skeleton. Using the teeth from this guy. Oh, yeah. It's like El Risitas, who is a meme now, by the way. It was something very, very Spanish, and then he became a meme for all over the place. Look at those teeth. All right, down. And then this guy. Opa, where did I get that cream from? Only white, please. Okay, let's see. There we are. Nice smile. Okay, next one. This guy, what he needs is not white. He actually needs a glaze, but he needs white on the eye here. Okay. Has some nails, which I don't want to paint white. I'm just highlighting them so I can come back to them. Okay, and the last one, last but not least, this guy, he has no eyes, but he has some teeth. Some teeth. Okay, there we are. Vamos allá. Now, I want to give some extra details here. And the way I'm gonna do this is using a little bit of magenta. So we get some bruising. Magenta is perfect because it has a very nice nuance. It's like starting to clot blood. So let's put it in some places, like where there will be bruising. Knuckles, usually. I need to make sure that I can actually extend it a little bit. There we are. Where else will there be bruising? Well, obviously, anywhere like this. A little bit of color, and then feather it. If it's too much, we'll take away. Then here. Eye sockets, nostrils, and feather it. Lip. Okay. Feet pause due to scroll. Let me see what is going here. New activity. I think that's it. There's nothing new here. Okay. Female hero is winning, by the way. So I think you guys have your share of Undead, which is understandable. I'm starting to have my share of Undead myself. Okay, here as well. Too much here, let me feather it a little bit better. Okay, I think he's almost done. Vale, let's get to another one of the zombies. So we go from, my opinion, okay, you tell me what you think. we go from this very flat purple, which is okay, but this gives it nuance and it gives it more life. Well, that's not the best word for this case, is it? But it gives it a little bit more interesting features when you do it like that. The thing is finding the right consistency so you can stain, but you just don't overdo it. Okay, there, like that. Yes, it does. I think it does. And then I'm gonna give some blue in some places, like there are veins underneath or whatever. You were doing that for your Skaven, Thomas? Because in Skaven it does work quite well, having these kind of tonalities and colors. More so if you're doing rat ogres or Mulder monsters that they need to, you know, they need to look like they have been abused or they are experiments. Where is the last one? It's here. Okay, let's clean up here. Who's that pigment where I want it to be? Not here. You're welcome, thank you. There. There's some supports left on the miniature, but I don't want to risk it. There is like one here that is super tiny, and I don't want to risk it and lose a finger on that. So I guess I'll live with it. I will unlive with it. Okay, blue now. Blue, blue, blue. We're gonna use. Where is my All Faithful? ¿Dónde estás? Did I take you out before or what? Aquí está, Ultramarine Blue. I was trying to add some red hues to the skin as it was looking a little flat. I saw the wash you used on yours and had a red undertone that in my opinion looked really good. This one is a Space Magenta. So depending on what you try to do, if you want to use red, like this one, Infernal Red, that is very good for painting blood. But I'm trying to make it look like bruises. One of the things that I explained in one of my videos for Dungeon Mania, the zombies, is that if you start putting a lot of red, it's gonna look comically gruesome, in the sense that blood tends to dry and become, you know, coagulated very fast. And this is probably the next. Well, here is other pigment. Just let me just shake it back. The magenta is the next step of the coagulation. Then it starts becoming brown. But it's also the color that you will get on a bruise. And during the decay process, this is gonna sound awful, but I did some research on what the skin looks like when it's starting to look decayed. Internet helps for this. And zombies, I think the best color to paint them is usually this violet kind of thingy. I mean, it's still somewhat comical, but it's a proper, you know, it looks like you're dead. That's what I'm looking for here. So now with Ultramarine Blue, I need to get there. This is the consistency I want it to be. I need to get some veiny stuff here and there. See if I can pull it off. Let's see if I can pull it off. The problem is these miniatures, they have ridges, so the capillarity is gonna show, but not too much. We still can shade a little bit more with this color. And also for the fingernails. I mean, nobody's gonna see this one over here, but anyways. Here we are at it. So, how does it look like? You see what I'm talking about? Some veiny stuff, some extra shading on the face, and the nails. So, this one will be done. Let's do it to this guy again. Let's test the consistency of the paint. Still good, not too solid. There we go, and here he needs the gums to look this color. Glad you like them. There we go, now I can paint that small dot. So I'm gonna sell the zombie look. Boom. Vale. Okay, this guy has proper nails. And I painted them white before so I can notice them. Venture in life is difficult if you don't have a nail clipper, but there. Haha. There, ahí estás. Veiny. Nice. Put some shading here between these fingers. Good. Okay, now he looks like a proper zombie. It's funny how the flesh being painted just ties everything together at once. Okay, and the last one, last but not least, this guy. Once again, let's paint the gums. In between the teeth. Here. This, if you guys paint Gene Stealers or Tyranids and you paint them purple like I usually do for my my Space Crusade and also my Space Hulk, this is something you can do and it actually makes the look better. On those bulbous heads of theirs, just paint some veins like this. Okay. nails. Yes, that's it. These guys, they are done. They are done. The Fair Weatherman, welcome. I'm about to start painting my miniatures from Space Crusade. I look forward to watching your tutorials. Unless you are painting the Ultramarines first, everything else is there for you to use, but my Ultramarines are waiting in Spain for me to actually get my crop together and open those boxes. Alright, let me show you first, before I finish with the bases on these guys, what the female miniature that you guys chose, because I see female hero is 55%. So let's call it now. That's who's gonna be painted. Next, not today because it's already 1 AM almost, and it's Monday. I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. Let me find her. Yeah. So the loser is this guy, this huge skeleton guy. There you go. Big sword with flaming stuff, lots of spears and things coming off his back, a lot of places to do some pre-hands, and the main body, which is a huge skeleton, as you can see down there. When I say huge, is because compared to, yeah, it's a boss, you know. Let me just zoom out a little bit. There we are. Okay. So yeah, he's boss sized compared to the other guys. But the one that won today the poll is this lady over here. So not from what I see, okay, from the belt. The belt looks like a classic. Now I need to zoom in. Looks like the classic high elf belts that we saw on the miniatures sculpted in 4th, 5th, mostly edition, 6th as well. So I like that. She's wearing added armor, long boots, and has a very decided face on her. So she has a very beautiful cape, which is going to have a lot of opportunities to do something in there, some decoration. I'm fine with that. And overall, I think she looks like an elf, but you cannot tell because she doesn't have the ears nor the facial traits to do that. There is a small mistake on the cast, you can see it here, but that's fine. We can deal with that easily, not a problem. Once we start painting and with highlight, it will just disappear, blended into that. And it will be one more hero to put along the others. So, very interesting miniature. I'm looking forward to painting something a little bit more simple. Although this guy, I can tell you, is going to be very fun to paint. Because it has all these textures. And I mean, after you do the first bases, then you can go home and start doing this thing and the flaming sword with something like this baleful kind of green type of color that will look very nice with Undead. Alright, let's do the bases here very quick. Let's sketch those flagstones using yellow. And after this I have, well, a nice small assortment of undead enemies for my dungeon. One of these days I'm gonna start painting the dungeon itself, which is gonna take a while, but if my friend over here did it with that video, I'm gonna watch it after I finish the stream, and I'm gonna leave a comment there because I want to see what you came up with, because it looks huge. You probably have a whole place in your basement that is only for things like this. I don't know if you noticed, guys, but we are that version of people that used to collect trains. Well, they still are, okay? They still exist. Anything that you can imagine, all those hobbies, they're still going on quite strong, and they have their communities and whatnot. But I think we are that kind of niche in hobbies, you know, the one that you don't really talk about it with your work colleagues or whatnot. Mine, they do know, but it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Not something that is within the radar of conversation topics. But we are that kind of hobby, you know? It's not like watching football or, I don't know, watching this TV series or the other. It's very niche, and we we dwell in basements and special office rooms in our houses. That's where we are tolerated. If it makes any sense. Your family says, yeah, he goes there and disappears for hours, and I'm not really sure what is happening, but every time he comes out, there is something new in his hands. So I guess he's alright. And there are all these meme videos, you know, about if you want a husband that doesn't cheat, you know, it's either find somebody that is into video games or Warhammer 40k or something like that. Because, you know, they got time for cheating if you're painting minis. Yeah, I'm not getting into anybody's DMs. Sorry. I have too many minis to paint. That sounds cool if you are not busy like us. Oh yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure, those of you who are married and you have kids, that your partner probably appreciates the fact that you can entertain the kids for hours and hours and hours doing something that is not just staring at the screen. Because, see, another partner? Nah, I have 2,000 points of soldiers to paint. Exactly, that's what I'm trying to tell. See, I don't have time. The only thing that I might be doing that is suspicious on my phone is browsing on eBay. That's the closest thing that I do to cheating, because that's a dangerous addiction there. But if you have kids and you can't get them into your hobbies, that's it. You're set. You got your Dungeons and Dragons party, and you can make small tournaments at home, etc, etc. You know what I mean? It's, you're done. On the other hand, your bank account is gonna suffer. You're getting your kids out of the streets, out of drugs, but all the money that they will be spending on those things is gonna be these miniatures and brushes and paints and etc. So if you can get them into this and a sport, like a proper sport, or some martial arts like jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, I don't know, something like that, going to the gym, lifting weights and miniatures, man, you're raising proper people. Because then you get the double whammy, you know, you have the hobby that is good for your health and the hobby that is good for your brain and your peace of mind, and just that, you got it, done. Good job. You can go home, tap yourself on your shoulder, say, I'm a good father, and that's it. You're done. Congratulations. You're raising the right kids. Okay. It's so close I can't even smell it. One of these skeletons has a cast mistake on the foot. So I need to remember that when I'm doing the base, I need to put a big pile of sterling mud on that foot, this guy. Yes, I don't know if you can see it. You probably can. You see, right here, the layers. I don't know, it was a stack in a place like that. Hunting, and look, all hobbies are a big financial flex. All hobbies. No matter what, you're gonna spend a ton of money on your hobbies. You like fishing? Okay. You start buying like a fishing rod and some line and some anything. My brother likes fishing. My brother likes a lot of things. He has been retired since he was 45, so he's been doing all kinds of crazy things. He was an electrician working in the mines, and they got a very nice incentive to get retired early on. So he has spent money in hobbies that are so weird. Like he will be working leather. I mean, not weird in a bad sense. Weird in the sense that you don't know many people doing it. He worked leather, so he can make handbags, wallets, belts, anything like that. So he has specialized tools for that, specialized glue, specialized tints, etc., etc. Lots of money. Then fishing. He goes fishing. He spends a lot of money in his equipment, and then of course is the fact that you have to go somewhere to fish. And he usually goes to harbors. I'm from a part of Spain that is near the sea, near the mountains, so we are very lucky for that, Asturias. So that's another thing that he spent a lot of money on. And then now, okay, his biggest hobby right now is mountain bike and enduro. And in mountain bike and enduro, he's got himself an electric bicycle, which is ridiculously expensive. I can buy a car for that price, a decent car, by the way. Plus all the clothing equipment, plus, you know, the outings, going out with friends, and then having lunch somewhere far from home, etc., etc., etc. I mean, all hobbies are super expensive. My nephew, he does jiu-jitsu. The gi is expensive. The competitions he goes to is expensive. The gym is expensive. Me, personally, beyond miniatures, I like going trekking. My brother as well goes trekking. So you need some good boots, some good clothes to do trekking. Boom, expensive stuff. If you go to the gym, well, gym clothes, you can basically wear whatever. But sometimes you just want some fancy clothes, and plus what you pay every month, plus creatine and supplements if you do that. Boom, expensive. Everything is expensive. Reading books is quite affordable. I consider it as one of my main hobbies. Reading books, luckily, it is very affordable. More so because you can find a lot of them secondhand, and you will never run out of things to read. So yes, non-dream, there you go. Absolutely. That's as cheap as it gets in hobbies, and watching TV as well. But obviously the difference between reading and watching something, it's quite telling. As a teacher, I can tell you something. The number one factor, number one, okay, not even comparable to anything else, number one factor for academic success, number one, bar none, it's the reading ability of kids. If they start reading early, and if they read a lot, their academic achievement, the ratio of success that they can get, grows exponentially. Number one. So encourage your kids to read. Read as much as possible, as often as possible. Then they're gonna build vocabulary, they're gonna build structures in the brain to organize knowledge. They're gonna build the ability to discuss from different points of view. Reading, it's so useful, and it's not only the things that you learn from the books, it's the metacognitive skills that you learn that you actually start applying. Is like lifting weights for your brain. It's crazy. So very good hobby, very useful, and if you have kids, get them to read. I promise you it pays off bigly. Huge success. So bigly, yeah, I said bigly. I'm so happy when I'm getting there, using the minis. The base is the best part, not because it's fun, I mean it's just repetitive, but it's the I'm finishing part of it, you know. I'm finishing. I have some Undead ready for the dungeon. I should be varnishing a few of these miniatures, all these miniatures actually. I should be varnishing them, but I was varnishing with these Vallejo paints, and what I used to do is first do a shine coat, and then do a matte, because I read, or it's something that I learned many moons ago, that the shine one is the one that actually is the hardest of the two. It makes the miniature resist more heavily. And because I play with them, that's a good thing. But these ones that I'm using now is Vallejo varnish, and they actually don't become matte on the second one. It becomes satin. Probably you saw it on my Advanced Quest video where the Skaven and the heroes, they look super shiny, and it's because the varnish, the matte coat that I gave it at the end, just didn't do the job right. It did some of it, but it took away some of the shine, but it didn't take all of the shine. So, I don't know. Testors, dual coat, by far the best varnish I ever got. But it's difficult to come by in Europe. And in America, I used to go to Hobby Lobby and Michael's, two big stores where you can find all kinds of things for crafts. Jesus, those places were dangerous for your wallet. And there I could find testers, and I was super happy with it. I could find it in Malaysia as well. Funny. But here in Europe, I haven't been able to see it in any hobby stores or anything like that. So I need to see if I can get some of it. Vallejo has very good products, but this one in particular is not working the way I want it to work, or maybe I haven't figured it out yet. And I'm very wary of spray varnish, because if you get a bad spray varnish, they will screw up your miniatures. And I have only bad experiences with the Citadel one, like super bad experiences. I'm sorry, but I'm not risking any more with those, because there is nothing more frustrating. Like, if you really want to quit painting miniatures, the easiest way is to rage quit after you're like painted the whole thing, and then boom, you decide to varnish it and it becomes foggy, and you just want to jump off the window because you finish your miniature. Even worse if it's a batch of miniatures, and then you spray on top of it varnish, and instead of showing it, it just becomes foggy. Jesus Christ, that's a recipe for disaster. Alright, black. ¿Dónde está el negro? Vamos a poner el negro in between the lines. Let's start with this guy. Okay, here we go. Lisa is suspiciously quiet. I think she's sleeping. Oh, yeah. She's napping like a champ. She's not complaining about going to bed, so I think she found a nice spot and she's just chilling there. Like, being a house cat sounds like such a good plan. Like, if you're going to, you know, reincarnate on something, just say house cat, please. Thank you, bye. I mean, you're gonna live maybe, luckily, 15 years, but what a life, man. Pets, food, and naps. What else do you want? And people like adoring you because you're just such an asshole, but a cute one at that. So tell you something, it doesn't work when you're a male. Another male doesn't work being cute and an asshole. Really, cat is a good reincarnation plan. Hey, I said it first, okay? So if we get in line there, remember, I got dibs. House cat sounds fantastic. You know, fat, lazy house cat. Somewhere where is you have the space to just go take naps under the sun. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. Cats don't mind the heat. They are desert animals, so they like it. But some people say, no, I want to be a wolf, or I want to be a dolphin, or I don't know, I want to be a mosquito because I'm annoying already. So, no. Un gato. Yo quiero ser un gato. And then you can get also an Instagram page and make your owner lots of money just by being adorable. I was reading the other day that cats... ¿Te gustan las líneas, Travi? This is how I make the tiles. You just paint the tiles and then you paint in between the lines, in between the tiles. Or you can paint the lines, like these black lines, and then you do the highlights around them. It's irrelevant, however you want to do it. ¿Qué estaba leyendo? Oh yeah, the other day I read that cats were brought into Europe by the Roman legionnaire. So they got them as pets somewhere in one of their campaigns, and they started bringing them. And then, yeah, of course, some of them they will be on the camps, and then they will escape, and then you have European cats. Bam. So I blame the soldiers of antiquity for bringing cats to Europe. My cat, by the way, is not a European cat. My cat is a Malaysian cat. She's got 2 passports, one from Malaysia and one from the European Union, and now she's a dual citizen cat. Es que es la hostia, tú. My cat has traveled more than some people out there. She's moved places. She hates it though. She hates it. So that's another perk of living in Europe, because when I go to Spain, I put her in a bag, I go in the plane, and it's a short flight to go to Spain, as opposed to coming from Malaysia. I wouldn't do that to her coming from Malaysia. Okay. Trapi, yo no sé si esto queda bien con los naves espaciales. Esto es más de dungeon, de mazmorreo, ¿sabes? And I know I said that I was going to show my trick on the phone, but once again, I didn't plan my timing accordingly. So I know that my paint jobs, usually like this batch painting, will take maybe 4 hours, 1 hour per mini, 45 minutes if it's a simple one. If it's a simple Space Marine, I batch paint them, they go way faster. I was painting my Space Hulk Termis 2 in 90 minutes or something like that. And if it's speed painting without highlights with brush, you can do Space Marines like crazy, like not a problem at all. They are super fast. I think that's why they are one of the most popular factions as well, because they are easy to paint. I was quarantined for moving to different countries. Well, my quarantine happened during my stay in Malaysia. So that was we went from teaching on face-to-face to teaching online in 48 hours, which was crazy. One of my colleagues and I, we designed the whole system of teaching online. That was the first challenge. The second challenge is, and that pissed me off so much, I was quite fit. I was going to the gym consistently. And as soon as the pandemic breaks and everybody goes into quarantine, then bam, you cannot go to the gym anymore. And that's something that it didn't sit well with me. I got my own weights and whatnot later on, on the mail, but it's not the same. So those two things were challenging because teachers, we will be teaching online as if we were in school, regardless. And physically speaking, those of us who practice sports, we suffer quite a lot because then you lose that. And that's part of your routine. Even if you don't do sports, just walking on the streets or going out and just doing, day-to-day business is a different thing. I don't know how it affected you guys in the army. I know the army in Spain was quite involved in helping medical staff and all the things because it was a state of emergency, so it was that. Secondly, moving countries was not a problem because I was not moving whilst living in Malaysia. But going back home for a holiday, I think we could only do it the second year. The first year we decided to stay put in Malaysia and went holiday in the summer around Malaysia. We went to Penang and other places. And it was just a little bit later where we could come back to Spain for the holidays. And we came first to Romania. And as soon as we landed in Romania, we got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which was a double whammy. Looking hindsight, I don't know if vaccination was a good idea, but because you see all these cases of people, sudden deaths and whatnot, and I don't know. I don't want to get into politics because it's a slippery slope, but the pandemic it feels like it has been 100 years ago because it was like a bad dream somehow. I don't know if it's the same for you guys. It was nice working from home for a while, but losing the access of going to places and just, seeing other faces than the people you were living with. And thank God I had a cat and my wife, okay? Because if I had to stay alone in a place for 2 months or 3 months, oof, that was awful. What was very difficult actually was coming back from Spain on that holiday, and you had to do 10 days quarantine in a hotel. And those 10 days that I had to spend in Malaysia in a hotel room, as good as the hotel might be, were awful, like awful. I remember those like a small jail. I made a video during those days. I painted some miniatures with very cheap paints. I'll find the video, and I don't remember the name, but I made a video during those days. Luckily for me, I had the foresight bringing with me some paints and a couple of miniatures to paint during those days in the hotel, because otherwise I would have jumped off a window. So did I have to put the cat in quarantine? No, you have. That was it. I went to, I went to talk about about COVID. No, my cat doesn't need to go on quarantine. It depends on the countries. I guess maybe if you go to England, yes, because England, they haven't had cases of rabies since never. Maybe now they do. I don't know. But in Europe, as long as you have your documents in order, it's fine. Quarantine, let me think, because what happened the last time that we moved to Europe, I need to think a little bit. We left the cat with someone, and wait, let me just zoom out. We left the cat with someone, and they took care of her for a couple of months, but I need to check with Maria. She probably remembers it better. But she didn't like that time though. Yeah. In Hawaii, people had to keep pets in quarantine before you could get your pet. That's so sad. Poor animals, man. Like, I don't know. It's because, Hawaii is a protected island, I guess, right? I mean, islands are different. Islands are completely different stuff. Because, us continentals, we are somewhat more used to the sicknesses that we get. And Lobo did again, when it was a pandemic, the medics all days made PCRs to me. Every day going to work. Every freaking day, you mean? For real? Todos los días te tenía que hacer una prueba? Todos los días? The one with the needle you insert in your nose. Wow. No way. No way. No freaking way, man. Me imagino, todos los días, tío. Joder. No, it's not a pleasant thing, is it? I had COVID, I think at least twice. Twice. Well, I can tell you something. When I had COVID, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. When I got really sick is on my Pfizer. After the Moderna one, we had to take another vaccine. I think 1 year later or something like that. And that, oof, that thing put me down, man. That thing destroyed me. Like it was nobody's business. The first day I was okay. The second day I was like in bed. Like the worst case of flu that you can imagine. It went away quite fast, but it was not fun at all. So I don't know. These vaccines, I don't know if they actually help or they actually make it worse. Whatever. But I don't remember having that reaction from other vaccines ever in my life. So take it as you may. Every day because I work in a ship with a crew of 42. Madre mía, chaval. Madre mía. Todos los días. Yeah, we used to have to take them routinely in the school. I mean, I swear to God, it feels like all these memories are coming back to me, but it's been years and years already. Like as if years and years passed already, and it's just not. It's just 4 years ago. It's not that distant in the past, is it? We're not talking about maybe. I remember things from the 2000s with more clarity than I remember things from the pandemic. Like it's like a foggy memory. Strange stuff. Strange stuff. Yeah, I remember like wearing the mask everywhere. I remember these small machines taking the temperature as you went by them at the mall, at the supermarkets. I remember it was all these screens that they had for the cashiers so people will not breathe on them. These small things like hand sanitizer every freaking where, your hands getting dry because hand sanitizer. The queues for the kids to go to get their lunch 1 meter away from each other, social distancing. It was, I don't know, it feels like we were in a different planet, different society altogether. And and I can tell you something, as a teacher, we have seen the generation that spent some time being taught online. Nowadays they are a little bit okay, but back then it felt a little bit strange. Buenas noches, Trapi. When I was a child, it felt like we got vaccines every summer before the school year. I don't remember having that many vaccines as a child. I remember the first ones, the ones that I think, see, you get them here, there is like a small, this is for polio. So I'm one of those old generations where we will get these as soon as you were born. They will just catch you and put that thing on there and leave you a scar for life. But I don't remember that many vaccines for as a child. I remember one that they were going to give us at 18 for meningitis, and that's basically it. There's nothing else. I mean, you could take the flu one, but even if you take the flu vaccine, I've seen people getting sick of the flu or a very bad cold, so I don't know how useful it is. Although, in all honesty, this year I didn't take it, and I got sick as a dog, so whatever. So I guess if you get lucky and the strain of the flu that you are going to get, you are vaccinated against, you will be right. But this year I've been sick so often, and I think it's because we came to another country from Spain last year, and of course, you know, you are updating your immune system with all the new viruses, all the new stuff. And if you're a teacher, chances are you're gonna get sick. You are going to get sick for sure. The kids are, let me just put this mini so you guys can see it. The kids are gonna give you all kinds of crazy stuff, like stomach bugs, check. Colds, check. Sinusitis, check. There's always something waiting for you. I guess you guys who are parents, you probably feel it as well. As soon as the school year starts and it's starting to get a little bit cold, ka-ching, you're gonna get something from your children. They are bringing all the viruses. They are like nurglings. They bring all the viruses from school. Hear that? I got a new one today. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just didn't want it, but you know, I mean, yes, sharing is caring. Okay, last step. There we go. Last step is where's my dear friend? Here. Sterling mud. One, and as I said, I cannot forget, there is this skeleton who has one foot. Let's put the regular ones away. Who has one foot not properly printed. So I'm gonna put a splotch of mud on it, so it looks like he's stepping on some scary shit. There you go. Ahí está. Vamos para acá. Vamos para acá. Alrighty, right? And some more here. Ahí está. Vale. And today I think we're gonna do a family photo of these guys as soon as they dry. So we have something to put on Instagram and on the channel for people who missed out on the stream and didn't see the process of getting these guys finished. Maybe they will feel tempted to watch the 2 hours live stream. If I do this tomorrow, if I'm gonna come back tomorrow, because it's gonna be a work day, I think I'm gonna start earlier, guys, so I can finish something. If I start at 10 p.m. here, which is Eastern European time, I don't know what time it will be in other places, but just imagine that it's gonna be like 1 hour earlier to what I started today. And let's see the miniatures in all their glory. Still drying. One of the zombies here, the one with the broken shaft. There he is, all veiny, all rotten, all ready to go into the dungeon. The other zombie with the broken halberd, same, all veiny, all rotten, also ready to go into the dungeon with his rusty armor. Third one with a sword. There he goes. This looks a little bit more like an adventurer, but he also has the keys probably to a cell in the dungeon. So, and funnily he has a bone. I don't know why he has a bone in his bag. Maybe it used to be a chicken leg, whole chicken like in Castlevania, but there you go, he has that there. And now the skeletons. The one from yesterday is here. He's finished from yesterday. There he is. With a sword. Big boots. Nice. And now we have the archer, which we couldn't start yesterday because we didn't have a base for him. Now he's done. There he goes with a quiver. Nice scale armor, a little bit damaged though. And the one with armor. I like this one. It's like he's missing a shield, but I like how it is. The armor is broken over here, and not very much is he? But he has a nice sword, and I like the way that the pose is nice. I like super cool pose. So that will be it. Uno, dos, let me see. Dos, tres, esqueletos y 1, 2 y 3 zombies. Okay, 6 undead for the dungeons. Ready to go and make life difficult for my heroes. Bueno, pues as soon as they dry, I'll take some pictures and put them on Instagram, on YouTube, so you guys can see them there and see the details with better colors and lighting rather than here. Eso es todo por mí hoy. I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that might be. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get to paint the hero that you guys decided. Now everything is 50-50, but when we check, she was the winner. So that's the one that we're gonna paint tomorrow in the stream. By the looks of it, it looks like a 90-minute miniature if I do some freehands on the cape. And it's not very complicated actually, and she looks quite nice. She's gonna be a good addition to all the heroes that I have over here. One of these days, this guy has to be painted. He's the big boss of the undead, along with the necromancer that we already painted the other day. This guy. So now we have the undead band. We just need a big boss, and I also have, I remember I have a mummy, so that will be something fun to paint one of these days. Bueno, y eso es todo por hoy. Remember guys, my name is Miguel, this has been Rush the Wash, and I'll catch you in the next one. Un beso, adios.